The content of this video will be about finding the nth formula. The nth formula for linear sequences. Pag sinabi nating linear, so nasa first difference lang siya. So, if we have, let's say I have a sequence A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, up to AN. So, I may say that it is a linear sequence when they have the same D1, D2, D3, D4. So, take note that your D1 is equal to A2 minus A1. And our D2 is equal to A3 minus A2. And our D3 is equal to A4 minus A3. So, if this D1 is equal to D2 and equal to D3 and also equal to D4, at first difference, therefore, this is a linear sequence. So how will you solve for the nth formula equation? Nth formula equation. So any wild guess? Actually, our nth formula equation is solvable by, let's say, I have an an. My an is just equal to t multiplied by our n plus or minus x. That is my equation. That is my formula. So, paano naging ganun? So, take note that my d is equal to the difference. The difference of each of the sequence. N is the term wherein it is represented. Number of the term. Take note that your n is represented by the nth term. So, let's say an. Ito yun, an, di ba? So, a means first term, an second term, a third term, a4 is the fourth term, a5 is the fifth term, a6 is the sixth term, or n is equal to 6, and so forth, and so on and so forth. So, take note that you have an, the subscript here means your n, or the position, kung anong number of terms siya. So, at this term, your a1, at your a1, therefore your n is equal to 1. At your a2, therefore your n is equal to 2. At your a3, therefore your n is equal to 3. Okay? That is the meaning of your n, or the number of the term. And then x is any positive or negative number. Whole number yan that would make the number that would make that would make the formula true. Take note that that is an assumed formula. So let's have our first example. So we have our 2, 5, 8, and 11. Example. So we have 2, 5, 8, and 11. 2, 5, 8, 11. So take note that our D is equal to 3. step by step first, let us find for D. Find for D. So we have D is equal to A2 minus A2 minus A1. But take note that our A2 is equal to 5. Tama? And then our A1 is equal to 2. Therefore, our D is equal to 5 minus 2, which is equal to 3. Okay? So, let us substitute. So, therefore, I have a value equal to AN is equal to, so DN plus minus X. So, since I have already a value D, okay, so AN, which is equal to 3N plus minus X. Okay, I will consider my plus X. So, therefore, my AN is equal to 3N plus X. What is the value of my X then? So, since I have no value of AN, I will assume let AN be equal to my A1, wherein my N is equal to 1 and my A is equal to and my AN is equal to, or my A is equal to A1, which is equal to 2. Substitute natin agad. So since I have already my AN, so 2 is equal to 3 multiplied my N, which is equal to 1 plus X. So finding for the value of X, I have X is equal to 2 transposing your 3 minus 3, so X is equal to negative 1. Therefore, I have my complete equation, my AN, which is equal to 3N minus 1. Okay, that is my equation. So, proving, let us prove the value of 3N minus 1, which is, if it is the correct equation. So, at my at 1, A sub 1, so I have my 3 multiplied by 1 minus 1 is equal to 2, which is our first term. If my A is at second term, so I have 3 multiplied by second term, which is 2 minus 1, so I have 5. Okay, and then next is my A3. So as my A3 is 11, so let's say, so 3 multiplied by 3 minus 1, so my A3 is 8 pala, so I have 8, tama? And then my A4 is equal to 11, so 3 multiplied by 4 minus 1 is equal to 11, right? How about my A5? So find out your A5. So A5 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 5 minus 1, I have, ano, 14. A6, so 3 multiplied by 6 minus 1 is equal to 17. Okay? The formula will help you if you will have, or you will have a question that need a N is equal to 100. So, another example. So, let's have an example which is your 8. Example number 2. So, dito natin ilalagay. Example 2. We have, let's say, find the N formula of the sequence. Say we have 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So the difference is 2. The difference is 2. Okay. So how will we do it? Okay, just use my method, which is your AN is equal to D multiplied by N plus minus X. So plus na lang. So, plus X. So take note that my first term is my D, that our D is equal to this one, which is equal to 2. Tama? So 10 minus 8. Okay. So since you have already d multiplied by 2, so we have 2 multiplied by n plus x, which is our an. I'm picking my an is equal to a1, which is equal to 8. So at an, I have my 8, and my n is equal to 1. 2 multiplied by 1 plus x. So therefore, my x is equal to 8 minus 2, which is equal to 6. So x is equal to 6. So therefore, my equation will be an, which is equal to 2n plus 6. This is my n. Okay, let us solve the problem. So let's say at n is equal to fifth term. So if n is equal to 5, what is the value of an? So a5 is equal to 2 multiplied by 5 plus 6. Is it 10 plus 6? Is it 16? So let's check. So first term, second term, third term, fourth term, fifth term. Okay, what is the value of my seventh term? A7. So 2 multiplied by 7 plus 6, which is equal to 20. Okay, which will make our equation true. This will be our second equation. So if you will find for the value of n is equal to, find for the 100th term. So a100 is simply equal to 2 multiplied by 100 plus 6, which is equal to 206. Okay, that is the beauty of making your own equation if you will find for the 100th term. Pero pag second term, third term, fifth term lang, madali lang yan. Okay, example number 3. So example number 3. So let's have an equation equal to 100 and then 80 60 40 20 0 negative 20 negative 40. Find for the 100 term. So how will we solve this one? Tulad ng dati, di ba? Apply our formula, which is equal to an, which is equal to d multiplied by n plus or minus our x. So what is our d? Take note that our d is equal to 80 minus 100 is negative 20. Okay, note that d is equal to a2 minus a1 or a3 minus a2. Huwag niyang babalik ta rin because it will give you the difference. So we have 80 minus 100, never get the absolute value. Your d is equal to negative 20. Do not get the absolute value. So our d is equal to negative 20. So therefore, I may say that my an is equal to negative 20n plus minus x. Okay. So finding for the value of x. So I have my an, which is equal to negative 20n. So I will consider my plus x. Pag negative naman, parehas lang yung makukuha mo. Okay. Mag-change lang yung sign kasi binabaliktad mo yung sign, di ba? So I have my an is equal to negative 20n plus x. So if my an is equal to, let's say, at an is equal to a1, an is equal to a1, which is equal to 100. Bakit laging a1, sir? Because it is the safest in order to get your x. Okay? Yung pinakauna, yung pinakamaganda. Tama? So I have our n is equal to 1. Basically, this one. Tama? n is equal to 1. And then, our a1 is equal to 100. So substituting your a1, which is equal to 100, is equal to negative 20 multiplied by 1 plus x. Therefore, our x is equal to 120. Tama? So, paano nakuha yun? So, 100 plus ito transpose ko yun. So, plus 20, which is equal to 120. x is equal to 120. Therefore, I have my equation equal to an is equal to negative 20n plus 120. Let's try. So, at my n is equal to 1, so therefore my a1 is equal to negative 20 multiplied by 1 plus 120 is equal to 100. Tama? So, finding for our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 term. So, ano yung 8 term natin? So, let's say we have by A8. So, I have negative 20 multiplied by our 8 term plus 120. So, I have negative 160 plus 120. Therefore, our A8 is equal to negative 40. Tama ba? Negative 40 siya. This will prove our equation true. So, therefore, finding for our A100, finding for our 100 term. So, I have an equation equal to A100 is equal to, so ano yung equation natin? Ito yung equation natin. Lalagay ko muna. Okay. So, En is equal to negative 20n plus 120. So, I have my A 100 is equal to negative 20 multiplied by 100 plus 120. So, therefore, I have negative 2000 plus 120. So, negative 2000 plus 120 is equal to negative 1880. That is my A100. Right? Okay. Okay na? Okay.